Welcome to the annual review of everything I made this year, 2024 edition. This year was a little bit different than all the previous years. I had my first baby in May, which means that for the first part of the year I was very pregnant, and for the later part of the year I was very busy. So it's not as full of a rack as we're used to seeing in these, but I am actually surprised I still did manage to make a few things. I always really love making these videos. It's a great opportunity to reflect on my past projects, share my honest opinions with you on whether I've actually used the items, whether I still like them, how I feel about them months later, how they've held up. Let's jump straight into it with the first items on my rack here. The very first being this 1950s inspired kangaroo pouch maternity skirt. This is probably one of my favorite things I made in pregnancy. A lovely little pencil skirt, and this is where the bump goes. This project was inspired by a book on historical maternity clothes that I was sent by the author, which was really lovely. And it was so much fun to make. I love this fabric as well. And I really like how this turned out. I feel like this is a technically very well made item. It's comfortable to wear. I lined it. Which, to be honest, I don't often bother to line my garments, but it's a lovely garment. I didn't get as much wear out of it as I hoped. It's a little bit narrow on the bottom. I did give it a slit, but I don't think it's deep enough, or maybe it's just, maybe I made it a little bit too long for how narrow it is. But mostly I just didn't really have tops to go with this. And also my biggest struggle was tights. I was only able to find maternity tights in a few colors, and none of the ones that I had actually really worked with this. So yeah, I did struggle to actually incorporate this into my wardrobe, but this is definitely one that I'm saving for potential future pregnancies because I do really like this item. And yeah, maybe if I have better luck finding tights in the future, then this is definitely one I want to bring back. For this one, I'd say 4 stars. Very happy with it. So in that same video, I also made a very simple, stretchy pencil skirt. It's basically just a tube of fabric with elastic at the waistband. It was super quick to make. I made this in a day, and I think that's the problem with it. I love it in theory. I love the fabric that I used. It's this kind of mock knit with cables. It's really nice and warm, and it fit over my bump just beautifully. I like the length. I love the fit of it. The only thing I don't like is the waistband. If I had taken a bit more time to actually create a waistband rather than just fold over the top and insert an elastic, it would have been maybe a bit more flattering, because right now this creates a lot of bulk right on the bulkiest part of the body, you know, with the pregnancy bump. And it's just not very pretty, this waistband. And it is the part that you see the most. And also I feel like this style of skirt works best with a kind of sleeker top, and that really does show kind of the bunching up. I did end up wearing this one a little bit more than the kangaroo pouch skirt, but still not a huge amount. Also, yes, that's my issue. I only really had black maternity tights. I think I had one pair of skin colored ones, but they were too thin to wear in winter. So again, I didn't like this look with black tights, and I couldn't find, you know, warm enough skin color tights to get the amount of wear out of this that I would have liked. So this one, I think 4 stars as well. Alrighty, the last piece of maternity wear is this dress, which is one of 2 maternity dresses I made. I also made my Christmas dress last year, but that's in the review for the year before, of course. So this is officially a nursing dress that has a pregnancy modification. There is a lot of extra fabric here on the belly area with some scrunching on the side, but mostly the feature that this has is a hidden layer, and then let's call it milk access right here. There are lots of things about this that I love, and there are some things that could have been better. First of all, the fabric choice, love it. I love this print. Let me show you from a bit closer up. It's a beautiful soft floral in pink. I really like this as well, this kind of like mixed pink with little eyelets. It's beautiful. I really liked the fit of this as well, but something that bothers me, and it bothered me a lot, is the back. I think this is because of the fabric choices that I made. I didn't realize when I was sewing this that there wouldn't be a second layer on the back, that's only on the front. And since I did it in a contrasting fabric, the back now looks kind of weird with it. It looks like I'm wearing a cardigan only on the front. And that actually bothered me so much that I didn't get as much wear out of this dress as I would have wanted to. And I know I intended at first to actually add a bit of fabric here, but by the time I made this, I was so pregnant. I didn't get around to doing that, and after I had given birth, definitely not gonna happen. So if I do wear this again in a future pregnancy, I'm definitely adding a bit of fabric to the back to make it look a bit more cohesive. Another thing I regret doing is the elastic that I used. So this little milk access bit is lined with elastic to help it, you know, retain its shape and not ruin the fabric, and also be nice and elastic so that you can use it. The elastic I used is just too thick, so you can actually see it through the top layer. And it's a bit awkward because it's like this loop right on the breast. Just looks kind of weird. They suggest using swimwear elastic, which is a lot thinner, so I just should have done that. All in all, I think I would give this one 3 stars. I did wear it quite a bit and I loved wearing it, but I definitely got more use out of this as a maternity dress than as a nursing dress, mostly because all of this extra fabric is just, there's so much, so much extra fabric that it didn't really look nice anymore after I had given birth and the bump was gone. So yeah, definitely more of a maternity one than a nursing one for me. So after baby was born, I quickly realized that sewing was even more of a challenge than I had anticipated beforehand. There are just so many steps involved in sewing. Many of the steps are very noisy and I pretty much have to come up here to do all of my sewing because there's so much stuff involved as well. I just have all of it here in the studio. But I also quickly realized that it is really easy to knit. Because for knitting, all I need is my one project with my one ball of yarn, little project bag with all of my little accessories, and I can just do it whenever, wherever, move it around the house. It's completely silent, so I can do it, you know, when baby's awake, when baby's asleep. It doesn't bother anyone, and I really enjoy it. It really rekindled this love for knitting within me. I have been knitting since I was a child, but I never really learned how to do more than just knitting and purling. So I've been making scarves basically for my entire life, and finally learning how to actually knit garments has been so much fun, and I have been greatly enjoying it. So one thing that I made is this, which I call my birth cardigan, because I worked on it in the hospital as I was being induced. This is the step-by-step cardigan by Handmade by Florence. There is a full video tutorial on how to make this. It is the first cardigan I've ever knitted. Her step-by-step sweater is the first sweater I've ever knitted. So honestly, the first garments I've ever made for myself were from her tutorials, and they are so good. It walks you through everything. If you know how to knit and purl, you can make this as well. I made it cropped. It was half intentional. Florence's patterns always come up really short on me. I didn't block it very aggressively, so it could maybe have been a bit longer, but yeah, I decided to leave it cropped because it works with the style of clothing that I wear. I usually wear dresses and skirts, and when I'm wearing pants, they're high-waisted. So I like when things hit, you know, right around my waist. And I am just absolutely in love with it. You've seen me wear this a lot since I finished it. It does go wonderfully with my wardrobe, both the style and the color. The shape is absolutely perfect. It does hit right where I want it to. I love that the sleeves are slightly wider. And yeah, it's just a really nice shape, and it's so lovely and warm. Love that it has a V, and just, yeah, I love everything about this. Honestly, probably 5 stars. Maybe 4.5, maybe 4.5. I'm not a huge fan of the yarn I used. The look, I love the look of it, but it is so prone to pilling. This is Drops Nepal, I'm fairly sure. I made my sweater out of it as well, but I didn't notice as much just how insanely it pills. And also, I'm not 100% sold on the buttons. But do I subtract stars for that? Yeah, yeah, okay, 4.5 stars there. Because it's not completely perfect, but almost. It's very close to perfection. I think this is definitely my favorite thing that I've made this year. So one more thing I did sew for myself, I was able to squeeze this in because it's such a tiny project, is this Heatless hair curler. Made out of a lovely satin fabric. I made this little like roll and 2 scrunchies, and I love this. 5 stars, absolutely. Oh my gosh, this works wonderfully. These things have been around for years now, but they are so easy to make yourself. I used some scrap fabric for this, inner fabric of my garden gown that I made 2 years ago. Very, very happy with this. A lovely quick project, perfect to make as a gift. So I did also make some things for the baby. Of course, when I was pregnant, I was just really excited. So I really wanted to make some cute little things for him. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. This little outfit. Let's start with this one. I made this little playsuit, I guess, as my gender reveal announcement video thing. And this is absolutely unusable. I'm so sad because I love this fabric. I think out of all the fabrics I bought for baby, this is the cutest. I used all of it up on this little suit because I didn't realize that it was double-sided, like you have to line it. So I used the same fabric twice. The fabric is adorable. I love the style of this. I mean, in theory, this is wonderful, but this is just not baby shaped. This is not what a baby looks like. It is so wide. It is so wide that it would fit my baby now at 7 months, but then the arms are this short. Like the arms and the legs are newborn length, but the width is like 8-month baby wide. So I don't know what's up with this pattern, but it is, yeah, absolutely useless. He couldn't wear this once. We put it on him, but it was just really weird and floppy on. Yeah, it was, yeah, so sad. But this pattern is horrendous. But good to know, I guess. It's just, yeah, it's a shame because I really like this garment. I think it came out really cute. You win some, you lose some. I also made this little jacket to go with it. This, really cute. He did get a little bit of wear out of this. We lost a button. I didn't bother to replace it because he no longer fits into this. If I ever want to use it again for a future baby, I can just, you know, sew the button back on. But I haven't taken time out of my day to sew a button back onto a garment that no longer fits. This as well, one thing I don't really like is I had to, again, line it in this fabric. I think this pattern actually came from the same pattern. I think it was a set of different baby clothes. I wish I had had something thinner to line it with because this fabric is quite thick and stiff, and now it's, you know, 2 layers of that, which does make it a little bit stiff. So when baby was very small, he was kind of like arms out in this. But other than that, this is a really cute jacket. I made a little edge of that same little snail fabric to make it a set. And yeah, it's really cute. I really like this. Oh, I forgot to give a star rating. This, 2 stars for the cute fabric, but honestly, completely unusable. This one, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 stars maybe. This one, oh my gosh. This we actually got a lot more wear out of than I expected. This is half finished. I was running very close to the deadline for this video, so I kind of half finished this, just enough to show it on camera. There are some buttons, some snap buttons missing on the bottom, and I kind of just hate the finishing of this garment. This is just one of those that you can't really do without a serger. It just doesn't look good, and this maybe would have benefited from a lining, because look at these edges. They are all just folded over towards the outside, which I wouldn't do again, and then zigzagged down. But it just looks really sloppy. The whole construction of it is just a bit sloppy. I remember it being very finicky, especially this little foot part. It's such a small garment. However, the fabric is adorable, and he actually wore this a lot. Oh, I really, really wish I would have finished it a bit more nicely, because this was so cute on him. This was actually a workable size. This is actually baby shaped. Definitely not newborn though. This was a newborn size. I think he wore it like around 4 or 5 months. Yeah, it was really cute. I might make this pattern again in a bigger size with, I still have this same fabric but with little foxes instead of geese. But this one, really cute. 3 stars. Despite it being a really bad make, it somehow worked. So then I also did some knitting and crocheting for baby. This is something I made while I was waiting for him to be born. I crocheted a little cardigan, I guess, and I used a vintage yarn from my stash that was from my grandma. I love how this came out. I feel like it looks like a little knight's armor, which is really cute and really fitting with the whole fairy tale forest, magical castle, night theme thing that we have going for him. Adorable. However, this yarn, so scratchy. I hate how there's something wrong with pretty much everything I made for baby. I really wish it wasn't so. And even after I washed it, it's still really, really scratchy and uncomfortable. So even though this is beautiful and it fits him, I didn't really want to have him wear this just because it's so, yeah, it is uncomfortable and he's so small. This was cute to look at. I had it hanging in his room for a bit. 3 stars maybe, because it's really nice. I love how kind of chainmail-y this looks. It's so cute. I did, however, also make something that is absolutely perfect, and it is this hat. Oh my gosh, this hat. He wears this almost every single day. I absolutely love it on him. This is the cutest thing ever. It makes him look so chubby and cute. I love the little pixie style. Yeah, it's just absolutely adorable. Love how I made this. Technical aspect of this, I think I made it really well. It looks really nice. It was a very easy pattern, but yeah, that just meant that I whipped up nice and quick. I think it looks fantastic. Love this yarn as well. It's a hand-dyed yarn that I got at a knitting fair. This absolutely 5 stars. This year my knitted projects are winning for sure. And these are the best things that I've made. So yeah, not as many items this year, but honestly, the single best thing I made, 5 stars for sure, is baby. He is just an absolute delight and he is growing up so fast. So I hope maybe as he keeps growing, I will slowly but surely find the time again to sew a little bit more. I'm sure at some point we will stop contact napping, which will be a huge help, free up a lot of time for me. Because I do miss it. I really enjoy all the knitting I've been doing, but I do miss sewing as well. And every now and then I come across a pattern that really excites me and I would love to make. Oh, but also I'm still nursing, and nursing friendly patterns pretty hard to find. I mean, there are only so many wrap dresses a person can make until it becomes kind of, you know, too much. But yeah, maybe I will find my way back to sewing this year at some point. I wanted to thank you so much for being here throughout this year, even with all the changes happening in my life and on my channel, of course. I'm really glad to have had you here throughout all of this. Being able to share it with you has been absolutely lovely. I've been having lots of fun with fashion, rediscovering how to dress my changing body, and I'm really excited to continue all of that in the new year. So yeah, once again, thank you so much. Have a very, very happy new year. Stay safe, and I hope to see you again next week in a brand new video.